Hey, good evening, good evening, good evening again, man. I want to welcome you guys back to the Conversation 9-8. I'm back again. March 15th. Want to say happy birthday to my son, Robert. Happy birthday to you. You want to say something?
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Just say happy birthday to my son, Robert, man.
Big 21.
Yeah, he turned 21. So
he'd be out in clubs, be drinking, be popping it down.
I don't know about all that. That's the first thing that come to your mind on that?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll tell you. But now I want to thank you guys for tuning in, man. Another episode of the Conversation 9-8. And I got my baby girl on with me tonight. Got baby girl. So how you doing, baby girl?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Doing good. I'm doing good. How about you? She said she wanted to be on with me tonight. So I wanted to bring her on and be a part of the conversation. I think it'll be real good. She's been on here before, but, you know, she's a teenager now. And she's on here, man. So I look forward to having this conversation. But, man, I hope all is well. I hope everybody's doing well. And not only that, man, I'm just excited. I would just say I'm excited to have her on with me tonight. And I'm excited to talk about for what we're going to talk about. So with that being said, all said and done, we're going to get right on to it. Again, man, I want to send a shout out to my son, Robert. Happy birthday to him. Big 21. It's a milestone, and I'm very proud of him and the young man he's become. But with all that being said, man, we're going to get right into it, get right into the conversation, and we're going to talk about just talk about it. I think tonight's conversation is something that's a real good one and another one that's relevant. And I try to keep it relevant, but we're going to keep on with it. And tonight's conversation, we're talking about being physically present doesn't mean that you are mentally and emotionally available. And the reason why I wanted to bring it up and talk about that is because I think too many people give themselves, they overrate what they bring to somebody else's life, and they overvalue them just being there. And I can just and there's so many different things that we can talk about, but just because you're physically there doesn't mean that you're mentally and emotionally available. And so many people are suffering from that because people feel like just because that they are physically present, that should be enough for some people. And a lot of times some people are just there physically. They're not there mentally. They're not there emotionally. They're not there making themselves available to the people. And people suffer in silence because they are not getting the things that they need. And the people think just because they're there, then that's good enough. And the reality is that's not good enough and is disrespectful in a lot of ways. You have anything you want to say about that? No?
I feel like sometimes like you just think like being physically there is just things like, oh yeah, I'm just doing enough for this person. But really though, like just actually being there like mentally and like emotionally, like it actually helps them like very real with their mindset. Like, and that's all that matters, like with your mindset. Like,
so you said being physically there is, some people feel like that's good enough and that's all they need to do. That's what you said. Okay, so do you feel like that's disrespectful to the other people? Why? Just ask why.
Because you just being right there, just this doesn't mean like you're like helping them out. Because and some people just feel like disrespected, that you think like all you have to do like to be like a good friend or to be like a good person is just being there physically but not mentally and like emotionally.
Got you. I understand that. But yeah, and that sad thing that some people not being there for other people, and do you feel like they take those people for granted?
And definitely, and take it as pride.
As pride, because of their pride, they take those people for granted and not be there for them the way that they should. Okay, I agree with you. I'm being honest with you. I do agree with you. And also, I think being physically present, I think a lot of times this is, and I'm gonna bring this up because I know this is something that a lot of people deal with, but a lot of people don't talk about. But just because you're there, you're physically there, and you're actively maybe doing things like, I can be a father, and I'm using me as an example. I can be a father, and I can physically be at home, and I can provide for you. and do things for you by living in the house. And I could be like, you should appreciate that. But what if I'm not mentally there? What if you feel like you can't approach me? You can't talk to me. You can't do these things. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like you don't really love me as your daughter and stuff. And like you just saying that just to say it, just to throw it back in my face.
Why do you feel like it's like, why would you feel like is something like throwing it up in your face?
Because it doesn't matter like if you're physically there, like if you're giving me shoes, like you cooking me food and stuff, and you just think that's enough of being a parent, of being like a good person. It's not. And then
so it's more than just the physical things that I provide for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you say that, so and I like that. I like that because one thing about it, and I'm glad I got my baby girl on it on here, because this is something that a lot of people don't think about. But as parents, we fail a lot when it comes to being, sometimes we get so caught up with just our role, fulfilling our roles, that we are physically there, but we're not mentally and emotionally available for our kids. And sometimes, you know, I can pay the bills, I can buy you clothes, I can do all of these things, right? And there's a level of respect that's expected because I'm doing it. But you said something earlier. You said that that doesn't automatically make you. It's like sometimes I can throw it up in your face if I talk about that's what I do. Why do you feel like I'm throwing it up in your face? Why would that feel that way for you?
Because like some parents they just said like I gave you this and stuff, and you treated me like, and you disrespected me and stuff, and yes, like I am grateful for the things that you had gave me, but if you're trying to throw it back in my face, I can't really I can't really accept the stuff that you are giving me because physically you are there, but mentally you're not with me at all.
So, and I know this is something that it's kind of hard to talk about, but I do want to address it. You know, one thing about it is, you know, we have to be very deliberate about being emotionally and mentally available, especially when it comes to our kids, but it can be in relationships, it can be at school, it can be on our job. A lot of us, we aren't deliberate about being emotionally and mentally available. We program ourselves to be there in the physical form, and we do a lot of things, and a lot of things are happening, but that doesn't mean that we are emotionally and mentally available. And because we're not emotionally and mentally available, a lot of times it creates a lot of conflict. It creates a lot of frustration in maintaining those relationships and maintaining the dynamics in those relationships. And a lot of people, you may feel like you're doing it and what you're doing is good enough, but in reality, it really leaves the other people kind of with a big, huge void, and that void is hard to overcome.
And if you really think about it, like it can really lead to verbally abuse. And what that means, if you don't know what verbally abuse means, it means you abusing your words towards your kids, and you saying stuff that are abusing their their inner self, and you just saying I'm physically there for you, I'm there for you, I should have left you and stuff. Yeah. Or I should have swallowed you when I first found out that I was pregnant with you.
Hold on. Oh, Nia. Oh, my goodness. Girl, no. Hey, no. But I see what you're saying. It can lead to verbal abuse because they don't see the disconnect. And I think that's something that is that disconnect is real. You know, it's a disconnect. Like you could be there physically, but emotionally and mentally, you're not there. But it's hard for sometimes them to see that and recognize that because they're so caught up in it. And that's something. But
it's mainly older people, older parents that think they know everything and stuff, and only just thinks they're supposed to be there and physically, but not there mentally or emotionally.
Well, I think too, and I ain't gonna say older parents, but I'm talking about this is not just with a parent and a child, the dynamic, but it also happens on the job. It also happens with other type of relationships. It happens in relationships. You know, like it can be, you know, husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend,
friends.
Yeah, friends. You know, but just being there physically. And I want to say this, and this is something that I want people to understand, right? Being there physically, there is something to commend somebody for being there, the consistency of being there physically. And I don't want people to think just because you're there, you know, it doesn't mean anything. No, it does. But we can't just think just because I'm there, that takes care of everything, that covers everything. Like physically being there, but I need to be there mentally. I need to be there emotionally. I can't physically just be there in a marriage and not be there mentally, emotionally, and think that's going to go well. I can't physically be there as a parent and think that not be there mentally and emotionally and don't think that that's going to impact the child. You know, we have to be deliberate about those things. And yes, you get credit for being there, but just because you're there, that doesn't mean that takes care of everything else. Because that other side of that really hurts. And I want people to understand that dynamic hurts. And it leads to it leaves a lot of deep hurt that a lot of people carry with them for the rest of their lives. It does.
And to add to that is like you said, like being there, like physically, like it does mean something, but if you just physically there, you're not doing nothing. So yeah, like it seems like that you're being disrespectful towards me, and it seems like that you're only there just to be there.
You know what? I'm glad you said that. That's something to think about, Nia. That is a dynamic that I think really need to be addressed. You know, many times people are only there just to be there. They're not there for
you,
for the other people in the relationship, or they're not there for their children. You know, they take the responsibility of providing and provision and all that, but they're just there just to be there. They're not there like being deliberate about it. You know, like one thing I say for me, like being a father, and I'm just saying this, being a father is something I take seriously, like literally being there, not just say, oh, I can post pictures of us, be like hashtag girl dad, hold on, selfie, boom, take that selfie. I can do that all day. But realistically, you know, what am I doing to be there, to be not only present, but to be intentional? And I think a lot of times people miss that, because not only you have to be present, you have to be intentional about fulfilling the role that you are holding in somebody's life. Because if you're not intentional, it can get to the point where you're just doing it out of habit.
And just like kind of off topic, but sometimes I kind of think that like some people think like being there physically is gonna help somebody because it's because somebody else did that to them, and they think that's good just to be there but not doing anything. And to add another thing is like, and I feel like some people think like being there physically helps them because if they talk and try to help them out, they think like it's not really gonna help them out. It just makes them feel like more lost, like in the depths, instead of bringing them back up, like where they're supposed to be at.
So you're talking about, I just want to make sure I understand where you're coming from. You saying just them being there can make the other person go, what you mean like lost? What you mean by that?
What I mean by that is like sometimes I feel like whenever I talk, like I try to help somebody else, it kind of like ruins and makes the situation worse.
Okay, in reference to what though? Like, so when you said make a situation worse, like how? Like if you say you're talking to somebody, how? I'm just trying to understand that.
Like at least like I can have like a conversation with you right now, like you crying and stuff, because you flunked the test.
Okay, yeah.
And I said something like just in like the wrong way, and then you started yelling at me.
Oh, okay. When you trying to help, but it end up making it worse because you may say it the wrong way, or they may take it the wrong way. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, I understand that. You know, like this. I do want to say this too. We and I said this before, but like what people don't realize and what people don't want to talk about is there is a certain commitment you have to commit to being intentional in whatever relationships that you have. A relationship of a husband and wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, parent and child, fiance, work on the job. And a lot of times what happened is the relationships that we need to be intentional the most about, they are the ones who are neglected the most because we pour so much into other things. Like so many people, they'll pour so much into their job to where the role that they're playing with their, like the important roles in their life tend to get neglected because they begin to take those roles for granted. Like I can be a father and I cannot be physically present because I'm pouring so much out of myself on my job that when it comes to coming home and being there for my kids, you guys kind of get leftovers. And that's not fair because I have to be intentional about being there.
And to add a little bit of like a little like God, like, and it says something like in the Bible, like, like I understand like you can work and stuff, but have time for me, like don't overwork yourself to the point where that you don't even want to pray to me or want to talk to me.
So, and I like that because, the Bible talks about, the thirds. You got 24 hours. You get 8 hours of work, 8 hours of rest, and 8 hours for
the Lord.
Pleasure. No, 8. When you're talking about the breakdown of the day, it's a third, like the Holy Trinity. You got 8 hours of work, 8 hours of sleep, and then you got 8 hours of, your time and whatever you want to do. The problem is this is the thing. A lot of the problems is we tend to put so much into things like that we get validation from. So like a lot of people that go to work and they'll put so much in their work and they feel like, oh man, you doing great. Hey, you handling all of this stuff and you being praised and everything on your job. But the very relationships that we need to pour into and really be there for, they begin to get neglected. Like your home life or, those intimate relationships that means the most. We tend to neglect those because we pour so much into those other things. And because we pour so much into them, we don't realize that we may be physically present, but we're not mentally and emotionally there. And being mentally and emotionally there is what really the people need from you.
What really brings up
the
relationship.
Yeah, that's what those people need from you. And yeah, you provide. Yeah, you paying bills. Yeah, you doing all those things. But are you there in a capacity of what they truly need you to be?
Like, are you really there for me and not for like the fact that like you want to like. Hold on. No. Like what I mean by that is like you could just say like I'm always there for you, like friend to friend, like let me tell you my friend, and like you feel neglected that I don't be there for you mentally and like emotionally, and I just said but I'm always having your back and stuff. I'm always there for you. Like nobody else gonna be there for you and stuff like that's just saying that like you're only there for validation, but not there for me.
Ooh. So that is the girl, baby girl. That is something powerful. You said that you're only there for validation, but not there for you. And that's one of the points that I did. I talked about earlier too. But that's bring up, sometimes we can, and baby girl said it earlier, we can only be there to validate our own self, our own feelings, to validate, I'm here. I can, as a father, and I'm speaking as a capacity father because I got my baby girl here with me. But as a father, I can be like, well, I pay the bills and I make sure you got internet, or you got Wi-Fi like you like, and you got food and you got all this stuff. But yeah, I'm doing all those things. But am I there for you? Do you feel like I'm there for you? You see what I'm saying? And a lot of times I can self-validate myself and be like, I'm doing all of these things, but I can completely miss the mark to understand that I'm not there mentally or emotionally. And being physically, I can take care of you your whole life and leave you in a traumatic state of dysfunction because I was never there and made myself mentally and emotionally available for you. And if I do that, that means that I'm dead wrong with it. And I think this is something that a lot of people don't like to talk about. A lot of people don't like to have these conversations, but it is the God honest truth. And what it is many times as people, especially as parents, we are physically present, but we are not emotionally and mentally and emotionally available for our kids. And we leave our kids to the point to where we make them feel guilty in the aspect of when they're calling for us or desiring for us to be there for them mentally and emotionally. We always talk about the physical things that we do,
but never the emotional or mentally things that you do.
Yeah, and that leaves a child may feeling like the parent don't really love me. The parent ain't really there for me. And it leaves them like they're isolated emotionally. And that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing at all. And I want to address that and I want to talk about it because so many people deal with it. So many people have that. So many people are working to overcome those very same dynamics. And that doesn't mean that the person don't love you, but that still means that it impacted you on that level.
And to add on to that, like, oh, dang, I was about to say something. Wait, what?
I mean, I don't know what you were about to say. What you telling me? I don't know.
Oh, hold on.
Like what? Like what?
Oh,
okay.
But like, you can just sit up here and just say, like, as a parent, like I just kind of wonder why like my kids don't talk to me and stuff. Like they don't want to like share their feelings. It's because like you're always like judging them sometimes. Like you don't be like there emotionally and mentally for them. Like you always be saying something, but never let them talk and be there for them. Like just hold your hand and just say like I'm listening. Like I'm listening to you.
Yeah.
Like as a being like I'm listening. Like
so when and you brought up something I think is very important to talk about. Being there mentally and emotionally, as a parent, being there mentally and emotionally provides a space to where your kids feel like that they are heard and they're understood. Not a questioning your authority, but they feel like that you hear them and you understand them. And that's major.
Like that's real good for a daughter or a daughter and dad, son, mom, daughter, mom, son, dad relationships.
Yeah.
And it goes up for all relationships, like fiancés, husband, wife, friends, girlfriend, boyfriend. Like it works for every single relationship because they know that you're listening and they don't think that you're just being there just to be there. And sometimes you can have a break sometimes. Like I don't expect you to listen to me every single time, but once in a while, like I just want you to listen to me and just hear me instead of you just having a wall between us and just think that you're always right in the situation, even though you had nothing to do with it. Like you understand what I mean?
No, I do. And Neil, what I like about it is just this dynamic, and I'm glad that I can talk about it, that because you my daughter, so father and daughter or parent and child dynamic is something to talk about. But a lot of people suffer with that. A lot of people deal with it. A lot of people and I want to say this, and I want people to really understand that there's a lot of people who grew up and never felt like that they can communicate or never felt like that their parents were, even though they were physically there or the people that raised them was physically there, they never felt like that they could connect with them emotionally and mentally. And
that could lead to trauma and then it goes on to their kids,
yep.
to their grandkids, and then on and on and on
yep.
to the point where like it's just a traumatic event that happens to everybody.
And it's a traumatic state because what they don't realize is the damage that's being done. And the thing about it is nobody is questioning you doing the best that you could do. Nobody is questioning the hardship that comes with the provision or being there physically. Just like I said, it's not a knock against it, but you have to be deliberate about being there emotionally and mentally there for people. You have to be. You can't just take it for granted. I can't just assume that, hey, just because you're my daughter, hey, I'm there present, you should be good. No, that doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. And a lot of people suffer in silence, man. And I say this, and it is what it is. But Nia, a lot of people have suffered in silence because they grew up in environments to where people was physically present, but they wasn't mentally and emotionally available. And they suffered in silence, and they go on and they just say, hey, look, they create this environment like I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. But it impacts them when they try to start relationships. It impacts their ability to communicate. It impacts their ability to communicate and be there for their children. And they begin to do what we call the cycle or generational curse type thing where, hey, I'm just doing what I was doing. I was told. Because their parents wasn't mentally and physically, they was physically present, but they wasn't mentally and emotionally available. And what happened, when you look at it, that impacts those people's lives for a long period of time. And those people grow, they live in and they're functioning, but they're really dysfunctional. They're trying to do their best, but they're trying to figure out, dang, why is this so hard for me? It goes back to it was a disconnect from what the example that you had. Dysfunctional.
And like sometimes I just think like it's not really that hard just to be there present and just trying to help them out like mentally and like emotionally. Like it's not really that hard, but if it kept like repeating to you, yes, it's going to be hard for you to break that cycle. But there are other ways, and sometimes some people can break out in tears and like have a whole full on meltdown or get frustrated over like the littlest thing that did not go their way because nobody told them like you're gonna be okay, like you're okay, like there's nothing wrong with you, like you are just a human, like you are okay, like I'm there for you physically, mentally, and like emotionally, like I'm there for you. Nobody had told them that before, so it's either outlashing and stuff, just want attention. Like some kids do outlashing stuff to get their parents' attention, not physically, but mentally and emotionally.
That's powerful. And a lot of the kids' behavior, they behave that way because we aren't there. We as parents, I'll say this. As parents, many of us aren't there emotionally and mentally. We're not there for our children. And like baby girl said, a lot of kids, they act out in a way to getting that attention so that you can be there mentally and you can be there emotionally for them. And it's sad, but that's the truth. Because yes, we're there present, but we're so caught up in the roles. We're so caught up with work. We're so caught up with providing. We're so caught up with all this external stuff that we're not being there for our kids.
Social media too.
Yeah, social media. Oh yeah, social media. But that social media, the reason why social media is people do that for self-validation, to make themselves feel like they're valid, right? Instead of saying, at the end of the day, regardless of anything, I owe it to you and your siblings to be there for you. And that's why I'm like intentional about it. Not toot no horn. It's just I've been very deliberate about being there for you because I understand how important that is. You told me something last year. You said I was stationed up in New York. You said, Dad, and I don't think you remember. You was like, I was talking on the phone, and you said, Dad, I want you to bring me some food at school.
Oh, In-N-Out? Wait,
no,
not In-N-Out. It was Cookout.
No, but you said you wanted me to bring you some food at school, right? Mm-hmm. This was, I think it was like January of last year, right? And then we had a 4-day weekend. So I drove down from New York. It was on a Friday. I left just to get there while you in school so that I could bring you something to eat at school because you asked me to be there. And I wanted you to know that I value what you said. And there was just something about being there for you. You know what I'm saying? And like being there, you have to be intentional about certain stuff. I can be like, well, I'm up in New York.
Well, I can't do that right now.
Yeah. But I was like, hey, this is an opportunity I can do it. Boom. This is when I'm going to do it. And I want people to understand, like, especially when you're talking about the dynamics of kids and even any other relationship, you have to be intentional and deliberate about it. Because if you're not, I will tell you like now, just because you're assuming the best don't mean that it will be.
And you just, and this is like mostly from what I heard, like it's mostly with like parents with their kid, like mainly from what I heard is mainly from like the kids and their parents, like them two would never sometimes be together because it's due to the lack of being there mentally and emotionally, like, and you just like sometimes kids just want you to be emotionally, physically, or not emotionally and emotionally there, like, and mentally, emotionally there, but not physically. Like they kind of want it to be reversed instead of being like how it is right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, kid. Yeah, I mean, people desire that, and I know sometimes people get frustrated because the parent that may just say you got a family not together, right? And one parent has custody of the other one, and they were like, "Hey, I'm here, I'm there," and you're like, "Yeah, but you're not there for me mentally and emotionally," and they wonder why they desire to be with the other parent, and the other parent is not there physically, but they're there mentally and emotionally, and and that's a big deal.
And that's why like they kind of like the other parent more than the parent right now.
Well, I mean, it's not so much saying liking more. It was just more so of the availability, the connection. So, baby girl, man, I appreciate you coming on. You came on. I knew when I told you, I kind of figured you was here with me that you was gonna want to come on. So this is your first time speaking as a teenager.
13, big 13.
Big 13. But no, I really appreciate you, man. I thank you guys for rocking with your boy. And make sure you go and follow all social media platforms, the Conversation 98. We got it right there. No, right there.
Stop.
Right there. No. Conversation 98 on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, and Conversation_98 on TikTok, man. Make sure you go like and share, like and follow. And anything you want to say to everybody before we get off?
Be great. Be good. And just have a great time.
And happy birthday to my son, Robert. Love you.
No, to my favorite brother.
Your favorite brother?
No offense, Chance. We love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.